back some documentation of spinal subluxation. Spinal subluxation is the spine being out of alignment, putting pressure on your nervous system. Some very well done spine, Journal of Manipulative and Physiologic Therapeutics, Journal of Bone and Joint Surgery. They've all well documented subluxations and their devastating effects on people's health. Next slide, please. Once again, your immune system can't function without a proper nerve supply. Bill Moyers, in his book Healing in the Mind, nervous system interference can cause immune system stress. Now here's something interesting. There can be nerve root interference without symptoms. Does everybody get that? You can have nerve root interference without actually experiencing symptoms, without experiencing pain, without experiencing organ dysfunction, without experiencing sickness and disease. How many people have ever heard of a guy named Jim Fixx? He was the runner. Yeah, that's okay. Remember when I was a kid in the 1970s, he was the guru of health and fitness. He was the run. Dropped dead of a heart attack. Everyone considered him the epitome of health and fitness. So once again, you can have sickness without having any symptoms. You can have nerve root interference without symptoms. Next slide, please. So once again, when we talk about spinal stress, basically, here's another great piece. It takes 8 to 10 millimeters of pressure, or basically the weight of a dime, to interfere with the nerve. Just 8 to 10 millimeters of pressure, the weight of a dime, to interfere with that nerve. When we get spinal stress, that immediately starts the degeneration process, that starts that Wolff's Law of bone remodeling. Scar tissue begins to form within 2 weeks, causes immobilization, capsule thickening, joint and nerve compression, bone damaging cartilage, and it starts this never-ending spiral of sickness, dis-ease, subluxation, and then eventually ill health. Once again, we can get this nerve root interference that can happen through traumas, physical stresses, emotional stresses, biochemical stresses, without actually having any symptoms. Next slide, please. So subluxations cause premature aging. Where's this from? A British study found that 1 child in 10 starts showing signs of back problems before puberty. Using MRI, these researchers found that 9% of 10-year-olds studied already showed signs of wear and tear. How many people fell down as a kid? Okay, every time you went boom, every time mom dropped us and then told us she didn't. Boom. 8 to 10 millimeters of pressure on the cervical, on the very small nervous system. 14 out of 154 10-year-olds had signs of asymptomatic disc degeneration. They thought that was a surprise. We knew better. Dr. Palmer, the very first chiropractor, knew better. Interference to the nervous system causes dis-ease, which then leads to body damage and suffering. So premature aging can begin in childhood and can set the stage for unnecessary pain, sickness, and disease. Next slide. So the cool thing is chiropractic influences oxidative stress and repairs DNA. This landmark study, vertebral research, jvsr.com, they found that by doing the chiropractic adjustment, we were actually able to free the nerve, start the pathway signaling so that the brain and the body start talking together, turning off that sympathetic nervous system flow, because the sympathetic nervous system is directly linked to the vertebrae and their spine, and we start reversing the oxidative stress, and we start getting the repair. Does it happen overnight? I wish it did, but at least a lot of times in my 20 years of experience, I found that these things didn't just show up overnight. People don't just wake up and go, I couldn't move. People don't just wake up and go, I've had headaches for 20 years. People don't just wake up and go, all I did was bend over to kiss my wife and my back went out. These things take years and years and years of damages and stresses accumulating, going through the superficial layer of the muscles, getting deeper into the joints, affecting the bones through changes through Wolff's Law, and then eventually affecting the nervous system, causing the damage and the disease, not just in the sensory nervous system, which is the part that we feel. That's 10% of your nerves. Only 10% allow us to do what we feel. 45% are the motor nerves, 45% are the autonomic nerves that go to the blood vessels, the organs, and the glands. So we can have, once again, that nerve root interference without actually causing symptoms. And the cool thing that differentiates us here from, say, the other chiropractors in town is I found some really cool technology to actually differentiate it. You know, for 18 of my 20 years in practice, I've been telling people your spine gets out of alignment, it puts pressure on your nerves, and your body suffers. Now we can actually prove it. And that's what makes us the cool kids in the world.